Good evening, this is GCN English News Edition, and you're watching with me, Ning Hoi Kim Khong Sai. First, the headlines. Kuki MP warns of potential attack by Métis on September 28. Manipur Congress MLA asks State Security Advisor to clarify on entry of Kuki militants. News in detail. The Kuki MP Manipur, while terming the Manipur's government claim of 900 Kuki militants allegedly infiltrating to apparently launch a coordinated attack on the Métis community on September 28, 2024 as baseless, said that such statements have presumably been made in order to justify a planned attack on the Kuki people. In a public notice issued on Tuesday, the apex body of the Kuki tribes in Manipur informed the general public that such statements made by the state government are totally unfounded. The tribal body, through the notice, informed the Kuki people not to organize any program or function till September 28 as a precautionary measure against a potential attack by the Métis. It also advised the Kuki people to remain indoors and refrain from traveling or working on September 27 and 28. The body also called for a total shutdown in all the Kuki inhabited regions on September 28, while stating that there are strong suspicions that Métis may launch coordinated attack on September 28. It advised all Kuki village volunteers to reinforce their positions in the buffer zones on the day. The apex body also said that a press conference will be held on September 28 in order to expose the alleged ulterior motives of the state government and radical Métis groups against the Kuki people. The body further urged the Kuki community to strictly adhere to the guidelines as mentioned in the public notice in order to ensure the safety and security of the community's land and people. Manipur Congress MLA T.H. Lokswar on Wednesday expressed concern on Security Advisor Kuldeep Singh's recent claim that 900 Kuki militants have entered the state, which he said has caused panic in the outlying villages of Imphal Valley. Demanding clarity on the claim, Lokswar asked what actions have been taken to address the potential threat. Speaking to reporters during a visit to Kundrakpam constituency, Lokswar said Singh's claim has created unrest in peripheral areas on Imphal Valley. He should clarify the grounds for his assertions and what measures are in place to counter the militants' entry. Villagers should not be left to live in fear. He urged the government to act promptly, emphasizing that the responsibility for protecting the village lies with the authorities, not the villagers themselves. On Friday, Singh had said security forces are on high alert following reports that 900 Kuki militants have entered the state to target peripheral villages with potential attacks expected around September 28. Singh asserted that intelligence has been shared among various security agencies and proactive measures are being communicated to remote areas to prevent any militant preparations. Singh said the hill districts of Chirchangpur, Tingnopal, Ukhrul, Kanjong, and Perjol have been placed on high alert. India is set to host a crucial meeting in New Delhi this November, bringing together leaders from Myanmar's National Unity Government, Jin State, Rakhine, and Kachin State, alongside Indian officials, to discuss the country's ongoing conflict and potential solutions. This meeting, facilitated by the Indian Council of World Affairs and featured notable attendees including External Affairs Minister S. Jaisankar. The Indian government has been investing heavily in Myanmar's infrastructure, including the Kaladan multimodal transit transport project and $250 million road project connecting northeastern India to Thailand to Myanmar. These projects aim to strengthen economic ties and improve connectivity between the two nations. However, India's relationship with Myanmar's military government, known as the junta, is complex. While India has historically supported the democratic movement in Myanmar, it has also maintained ties with the junta due to strategic interests and concerns about China's growing influence in the region. The meeting in November will be a significant step in India's effort to promote peace and stability in Myanmar, which has been plagued by conflict since the military coup in February 2021. The country's ethnic armed organizations, such as the Arakan Army and Kachin Independence Army, have been seeking greater autonomy and federalism. The number of dengue cases continue to surge in Lamka, with 2 new cases reported from Tuibong area, taking the total count of 41 since January. District Malaria Officer Dr. Langomon Samte stated that the Malaria Department is taking measures to control the spread of dengue, including fogging, case investigations, blood sample collections, source reductions, and awareness campaigns. Dengue statistics: April 4 cases, May 2 cases, July 7 cases, August 17 cases, September 11 cases. Silmat area has reported the highest number of cases with 10 instances. Prevention measures: eliminate standing water around homes. Use mosquito nets. Wear protective clothing. Avoid storing water in containers. Regularly cleaned and dispose of waste. Malaria Department's efforts: conducted 70 fogging operations, organized 62 awareness campaigns, identified and treated 120 potential breeding sites, distributed 30 mosquito nets. Symptoms of dengue: fever, headache, muscle and joint pain, nausea and vomiting, rash. Precautions: empty standing water from containers. Clean and dry containers regularly. Use mosquito repellents. Wear protective clothing. Dengue facts: spread by Aedes mosquito. Mosquitoes can travel up to 100 meters. Incubation period 7 to 15 days. Seek medical attention. If symptoms persist, report to the nearest hospital immediately. The Malaria Department urges the public to take preventive measures seriously, as dengue can be a life-threatening disease. The Manipur government recently filed an FIR against the Editors Guild of India (EGI) after they published a report on Manipur violence, which the government deemed inaccurate. This move has sparked controversy, with many seeing it as an attempt to silence the media. The EGI's fact-finding team, consisting of Seema Guha, Sanjay Kapoor, and Bharat Bhushan, reported that journalists in Manipur had biased reports about the conflict. This didn't sit well with the All Manipur Working Journalists Union and Editors Guild Manipur, who filed 2 defamation cases against the EGI. However, the Supreme Court has stayed one of the cases under the leadership of Chief Justice of India, D.Y. Chandrachud. Manipur Chief Minister Biren Singh claims that the EGI's report was false, which led to filing of the FIR. But critics argued that the government is trying to suppress freedom of speech. The Freedom Police even acted against the EGI under the Information Technology Act, which the Supreme Court has ordered not to be used again. This development is part of a larger issue in Manipur, where ethnic violence has been ongoing since May 2023, resulting in over 226 deaths. The conflict between the Kuki-Zo and Meitei ethnic groups has been fueled by various factors, including political authority and ambitions, according to some reports. The Border Security Force on Tuesday said it has launched a strong protest with its Bangladeshi counterpart, Border Guard Bangladesh (BGB), after its Jawan was abducted by miscreants from the neighboring country while patrolling the India-Bangladesh border in West Bengal. The Jawan was handed back by the BGB following a flag meeting between the two sides, it said. The trooper was kidnapped by a group of 15 to 20 illegal Bangladeshi miscreants while he was undertaking a routine patrol near the Biral border in the Dinajpur area of West Bengal. the miscreants crossed into Indian territory and forcibly took the BSF Jawan into Bangladesh and was put in the custody of BGB, a BSF statement said. In response to these alarming situations, the BSF said its North Bengal Frontier Inspector General Headquarters in Siliguri promptly reached out to Region Commander of Northwest Region, BGB, demanding the immediate release of the abducted Jawan. The force said it has condemned this act of aggression and launched a formal protest against the actions of the Bangladeshi miscreants. It said the force has emphasized the importance of maintaining peaceful relations along the border and urged the BGB to instruct its citizens to refrain from such unlawful activities. The BSF remains committed to its policy of zero firing along the border and seeks cooperation from BGB to ensure safety and security for all, it said. The force said it actively worked to secure the safe return of its personnel, and the Jawan was returned by BGB after the meeting between the sector commanders. India and Bangladesh share a 4,096-kilometer border guarded by the BSF and the BGB respectively, and the Indian force has been on an alert mode since the fall of Sheikh Hasina government in Dhaka on August 5. Seven people lost their lives and 3 others were injured in a road accident in Damoh district of Madhya Pradesh after a high-speed truck climbed on an auto. The accident occurred near Samana of Deha police stations where a family was heading to Bandakpur in an auto when a loader truck from the opposite direction hit them. The injured were rescued and taken to district hospital. Out of the 3 injured individuals, 2 have been referred to Dabalpur for further treatment. Damoh MP Rahul Lodhi visited the district hospital after receiving news of the incident, expressed sorrow, and assured that he is in contact with the government and administrations to ensure all possible assistance for the victims. The SP of Damoh, Srutkirti Somvanshi, described the accident as horrific and confirmed that the investigation is ongoing. An accident occurred at Samana in Damoh district where a truck collided with an auto rickshaw carrying 10 people and 7 people among them died and 3 others sustained injuries. After giving primary treatment, the injured have been referred to Jabalpur Medical College for further treatment. As of now, we are checking the collision marks of the truck and auto at the incident spot. The statements of injured people will be recorded once they become conscious, and then we will be able to identify the mistakes and reasons for the accident. Nonetheless, the truck driver is in our custody and we are investigating the possibility of him being in an inebriated state, SP also said. District Collector Sudhir Kumar described the incident as stating that a speed truck collided head-on with an auto rickshaw, resulting in 7 deaths at the scene and leaving 3 others seriously injured. The injured were transported to hospital and, after initial treatment, were referred to Jabalpur for further care. Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister Mohan Yadav announced a financial assistance of Rs 2 lakh to the kin of those who died in the accident and said that the state government will take a strict action against those found negligent. The mind is saddened by the tragic news of the death of many precious lives in a collision between a truck and an auto in Damoh-Katni State Highway under Damoh district. Instructions have been given to take strict action against those who were negligent in this horrific road accident, CM Mohan Yadav said in a post on X. According to latest Asia Power report from Australia's Lowy Institute, India has made significant strides, overtaking Japan to become Asia's 3rd most powerful country. This comprehensive ranking evaluates national power based on economic relationships, military capabilities, cultural influence, and political resilience. In 2024, India achieved a score of 39.1, an increase of 2.7 points from 2023. The United States retains its position as the most powerful country in the region, with a score of 81.7, followed by China at 72.7. India's rise places it ahead of other powers like Australia, Russia, South Korea, Indonesia, and Malaysia. Meanwhile, Pakistan ranks at 16, trailing between the Philippines and North Korea. India's resurgence in the rankings is attributed to several factors, particularly its impressive economic growth, with an 8.2% growth rate in 2023 to 24. India leads major economies, which significantly boosted its economic capability score by 4.2 points. Furthermore, India's youthful population positions is favorably for future resources, reflected in an 8.2-point increase in that category. The report also highlighted India's growing diplomatic influence. Expert noted Prime Minister Narendra Modi's enhanced global leadership and strategic ambitions, as evidenced by India's active participations in international dialogues and its successful hosting of the G20 summit in 2023. The country also showed a notable improvement in its national resilience score, encompassing internal stability, economic strength, and geopolitical security. However, the report points out a critical challenge. India suffers from a negative power gap, which refers to the disparity between a country's available resources and its real-world influence. This gap increased from -2.8 to -3.9 points over the past year. A key issue is India's relatively weak economic integrations with other Asian nations, highlighted by its decision not to join the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership (RCEP), which has hindered its economic ties with regional powers. Additionally, while India has ramped up its defense diplomacy, it lacks the deep defense alliance that characterize the relationships of other major Asian powers, particularly those aligned with the United States. This absence of strong defense partnerships may limit India's ability to influence security dynamics in the region. In summary, while the Asia Power Index reveals promising advancements for India in terms of economic and diplomatic influence, it underscores the need for the country to strengthen its economic ties and defense collaborations to fully realize its potential as a leading power in Asia. A report by the Walk Free Foundation states that about 50 million individuals were victims of modern slavery globally in 2021, comprising 27.6 million forced laborers and 22 million forced marriages. With 11 million victims of contemporary slavery, India is one of the nations most impacted, and as such, it is a major target of international efforts to end slavery. Women and girls make up 54% of victims of contemporary slavery and over 12 million children, making them disproportionately vulnerable populations along with migrants. Compared to non-migrant workers, migrant workers are 3 times more likely to be subjected to forced labor. All countries are victims of modern slavery. Over half of forced labor instances and 25% of forced marriages that take place in high or upper middle income nations. The number of individuals in modern slavery has increased by 10 million since 2016. This growth has been caused by a multitude of factors, including environmental destructions, conflict, the erosions of democracy, and the COVID-19 epidemic. The Global Slavery Index monitors the presence, causes, and response of governments to contemporary slavery in 160 countries. The 10 nations where contemporary slavery is most common are North Korea, Eritrea, Mauritania, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, Tajikistan, United Arab Emirates, Russia, Afghanistan. Kuwait. Political instability, violence, authority, and a lack of adequate protections for human rights and civil freedoms are common problems among these nations. The kafala system, which limits migrant workers' labor rights, exposes them to systematic abuse in countries like Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates. Conflict, as seen in North Korea, Eritrea, and Afghanistan, raises the likelihood of forced labor and forced marriages due to instability and decreased legal protections. Corporations have faced accountability for forced labor in countries like Eritrea, with judicial actions highlighting the role of businesses in sustaining exploitation. Despite the fact that slavery was abolished in Mauritania in 1981, the country still has a significant prevalence of hereditary slavery that affects groups like the Afro-Mauritanians and the Haratine, and anti-slavery laws are not strictly enforced. A large portion of worldwide total is also contributed by other populous nations including China, Pakistan, and Russia, many of whom are G20 members. Donald Trump has been briefed by U.S. intelligence on threats from Iran to assassinate him, his campaign said. The Republican presidential candidate was briefed regarding real and specific threats from Iran to assassinate him in an effort to destabilize and show chaos in the United States, the campaign said in a statement. It did not elaborate on the claims, and it was not immediately clear if the threats it referred to were new or had been previously reported. The Iranian government did not immediately respond to a request for comment, but Tehran was previously denied U.S. claims of interfering in American affairs. Trump posted on the social media site X that there are big threats on my life by Iran. Moves were already made by the Iran that didn't work out, but they will try again. An attack on him was a dead wish by the attacker, he said, and he thanked Congress for approving more money for the Secret Service. Intelligence officials have identified that these continued and coordinated attacks have heightened in the past few months. Trump campaign communications director Stephen Chung said in the statement. Law enforcement officials across all agencies are working to ensure President Trump is protected in the elections is free from interference, he added. The BBC has approached the Office of the Director of National Intelligence in the U.S. for comment. It comes after Trump survived on an assassination attempt on 13 July when he was wounded and another person was killed in a shooting at a rally in Pennsylvania. No motive has been determined and it remains under investigations. In the days after, U.S. media reported that officials had received intelligence of an alleged Iranian plot against the former president. Iranian officials at the time rebuffed the allegations as malicious. The BBC's U.S. partner CBS News reported, "If they do assassinate President Trump, which is always a possibility, I hope that America obliterates Iran, wipes it off the face of the earth. If that does not happen, American leaders will be considered godless cowards," Trump wrote on his Truth Social platform at the time. Then on 15 September, a Secret Service agent spotted a rifle poking through a fence at Trump International Golf Club in West Palm Beach. The agent opened fires as Trump was playing a round of golf. U.S. prosecutors have charged Ryan Wesley Rout, a man arrested near the golf course, with the attempted assassinations of a presidential candidate. There has been no suspicion Iran was involved in either case. Last month, the Trump campaign says some of its internal communications has been hacked and suggested it was targeted by Iranian operatives. In 2022, a member of Iran's Islamic Revolution's Guard Corps was charged by the U.S. with plotting to kill Trump's former national security advisor, John Bolton. The U.S. Justice Department said Saram Poursavi attempted to pay individuals in the U.S. $3 lakh to carry out the murder in revenge for the U.S. strike that killed the Iranian military commander Qasem Soleimani. The ongoing conflict between Israel and Hezbollah escalated when Hezbollah commander-in-chief of its rocket and missile forces, Ibrahim Kubasi, was killed in an Israeli airstrike on the Dahiya suburb of Beirut. The Israeli Defense Forces IDF confirmed Kubasi's death on Tuesday evening, identifying him as a central figure in Hezbollah missile strategy for decades. The latest airstrikes marks a new phase in the escalating violence between Israel and Hezbollah, following a week of cross-border clashes. Lebanon has faced extensive Israeli airstrikes, which have been described as some of the deadliest since the 2006 conflict between the two sides. Hezbollah in retaliation, has launched hundreds of rockets into northern Israel, affecting cities such as Haifa, Shafat, and Nazareth. As the violence intensifies, the death tolls continue to rise. On Monday, Lebanon's Health Minister Firas Abiad reported that 558 people have been killed in recent airstrikes, with thousands more injured. Thousands of civilians have also been displaced, particularly in southern Lebanon, where the heaviest bombardments have occurred. The airstrike, which took place on Tuesday, targeted a residential area in Beirut, killing at least 6 people and injuring 15 others, according to Lebanese Ministry of Public Health. In a statement, the IDF described Kobasi as being responsible for Hezbollah's missile launches against Israel, including precision-guided missile system. He had a long-standing associations with Hezbollah's senior military leadership and played a pivotal role in orchestrating rocket strikes aimed at Israel. Kobasi commanded the various missile units of Hezbollah, including the precision missile units. Over the years and during the war, he was responsible for the launches towards the Israeli home front. Kobasi was a central center of knowledge in the field of missiles and was close to senior military leadership of Hezbollah, the IDF said. Shots were fired at a campaign office for Kamala Harris in a Phoenix suburb, causing damage but no injuries, AP reported on Monday. The incident, which happened days before Harris' scheduled visit to the state, is being investigated by Tempe police. The authorities will be approaching it as a property crime since nobody was in the Democratic Party office at the time the guns were fired. As per a report by the Arizona Republic, a similar incident happened at the same office on September 16, when rounds from a pellet or BB gun were also shot. Videos and images from local media showed 2 bullet holes in a door and 2 more in windows of the office. We are grateful to Tempe police for coming quickly to the scene and are fortunate no one was present or injured, AP quoted Saint MC Inerne, the Arizona Democratic Party coordinated campaign manager at SAIA. During a live stream forum with Oprah Winfrey and Vice President Kamala Harris on a Thursday, there was a moment that stood out, diverging from the usual tone of discussions around gun safety. And Whitey reported, it began on an emotional note with a video depicting the terror of a school shooting, followed by teenage gunshot victims sitting in the audience, heart-raised and arm wrapped in bandages. Her tearful mother directly addressed Harris, pleading with those in power to make a change. Then, the conversation took an unexpected turn. Winfrey shifted the topic to Harris' own gun ownership, and the vice president offered a candid and surprising response. If someone breaks in my house, Harris said with a laugh, they're getting shot. It was an unexpected remark from the usually careful candidate, one that she immediately regretted. As Oprah tried to lighten the moment with, I hear that, Harris acknowledged her slip, saying, I probably should not have said that, while laughing and noting her team would handle the aftermath. My staff will deal with that later, Harris added, still amused by her own comment. Ukrainian president told the UN Security Council that we have to prepare the second peace summit to end the Russia-Ukraine war altogether, and he has invited India and other countries to join the peace process. We all know what needs to be done if we honestly look at the situations and truly want to stop Russia's war. Most importantly, act together, of course in unity, without creating new and unnecessary divisions of the world into blocs or regional groups. Zelensky here on Tuesday told a Security Council meeting on the Ukraine conflict. Zelensky said that unity always works for peace, and we have to prepare the second peace summit to end the world together. And I invite all of you, all principal nations to join us in this process, all who truly respect the UN Charter. We invite China, we invite Brazil. I have already invited India. We are working with African nations of all Latin America, the Middle East, Central Asia, Europe, the Pacific region, and North America. All, Zelensky said, are all equally important for peace, all without exceptions. Just as the UN Charter must work without exceptions, the Ukrainian president said this process will lead us to peace, to a just peace, a real peace, a peace that will last. All of us already know how to achieve it. We have the peace formula, we have the UN Charter, and we have all the strength needed to make it happen. What's needed is determination. Zelensky on Monday met Prime Minister Narendra Modi in New York before the India leader wrapped up his three-day visit to the US. Modi's meeting with Zelensky, requested by the Ukrainian side, came at the sideline of his other engagements, including participating in the Quad Leaders Summit and his address to UN Summit of the Future. The meeting between Modi and Zelensky was their third in a little over 3 months. Modi met the Ukrainian leader in Kyiv last month, just weeks after he had met Russian President Vladimir Putin in Moscow in July. In June, Modi held a bilateral meeting with Zelensky on the sidelines of the G7 summit in Italy. We are committed to implementing the outcomes of my visit to Ukraine last month to strengthen bilateral relations. Reiterated India's support for early resolutions of the conflict in Ukraine and restorations of peace and stability, the Prime Minister said on X following Monday's meeting with Zelensky. Zelensky, noting that this was already the third bilateral meeting this year with Modi, said the main focus of their conversation was on enhancing our interactions on international platforms, particularly at the UN and G20, as well as implementing the peace formula and preparing for the second peace summit. We had a substantive discussions on the available opportunities. We are actively developing our relations and working together to strengthen cooperations across various fields, the Ukrainian president said, adding that he was grateful for the clear support of our sovereignty and territorial integrity. Responding to questions during a press briefing on discussions with the Ukrainian leader on a second peace summit, Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri said that the discussions covered a lot of issues related to finding a way forward. That's all from us today, and we thank you for joining our program.